thoughts on all this stuff right now?
You know what, man? I'm gonna leave that alone. I don't even want to get into it, man. It's not my fight, not my fighters. I don't have nothing to do with it. People are at each other's throat over this stuff, man. And I just hope boxing gets it right. And I'll say this one thing: if you have an objective point of view, you let the evidence take you wherever the evidence goes. People are pushing the evidence the way they want it to go instead of the way where the evidence is going. And I'm gonna leave it at that. Just use your common sense. I don't want to get involved in this. I see people literally almost getting fist fights. And I always look at me like, yo, man, do you got anything to do with one of those fighters? It's not that deep to be arguing and fighting over guys that you're not working with, that you don't have any type of relationship with. You're just a fan of them. So as a coach, um, you know what I mean? I'm cool with Bill Haney. We speak. And Henry Garcia, I really don't know him. I met him in passing before, but I don't have nothing against Ryan or Devin. You know, whatever it is, it is. But I don't. I kind of we talked about it before, man. I knew it was gonna come to this and a bunch of theories getting put out there and all that kind of stuff. And I don't like to get involved in that kind of stuff, man. You know what I mean? This fight against PEDs is fake to me in boxing. The whole thing is fake. I don't think nobody really cares. We the only sport where the participants choose when they get tested, how they get tested, when the testing starts. That's it's all ridiculous, man. It really is. I said I have a comment on it, but I got a comment on the testing in boxing. What other sport is it that that exists right now where you me if say me and you fighting, right? I could call you up and be like, all right, we're gonna fight on August 1st. Okay. All right. So when you want to start testing? Let's start testing June 14th. Okay, cool. That's how boxing is, bro. The testing don't even start until you sign the contract. It's absurd. To be honest, I'm gonna be totally honest with you. You got to be an idiot to get caught. You really do. You got to be an idiot to even get caught because you get to pick when the testing starts and stops. So we're the only other sport that does that. They say they use the word random, but it's not random. It's just not. I don't know how to fix it, but I just know that we're the only sport that does that. Football, they knock on your door, test you. Basketball, they knock on your door, test you. Olympics, they testing you. Professional boxing, the fighters choose when the testing starts. How can it be random when the guy can choose when he starts? So I don't know. I just hope the best thing happens, and I hope that boxing doesn't get this wrong. That's what I hope. And I'll leave it at that. Hope they don't get this wrong. Hope the right thing comes about this. People got to take their emotions and their feelings out of it. I know that a lot of people don't like Ryan. A lot of people don't like Devin. A lot of people don't like Devin's dad. Got to take your emotions out of it and just look at the evidence.
And what in your eyes, you where we could get justification?
Then I'll be answering your question. you know, I just, I'm going to put it like this, man. To me, when you get into the extra stuff and when the burden of proof gets that high, you can't ever, you're never going to lose. Like now, we're not at a point whether it's either positive or negative. Now we're at a point. Did you know you were taking it? Did you not know you were taking it? Did this? You if once you start getting into that, the burden of proof is so high. This is higher than the court of law. You understand what I'm saying? If a fighter is responsible for what he puts in his body, a fighter is responsible for what he puts in his body. We can't get into did you know, did you not know, did you do this, did you because at that point the area becomes too gray. And I'll say this. I haven't heard one I believe that there's some really seedy characters in boxing that will give fighters stuff so they can perform high and feel really good about themselves. I do believe that. Because fighters, these guys aren't college educated. You get somebody come up to them and start talking some some scientific stuff, and fighters' eyes open up wide, they start believing it, right? I haven't heard one fighter test positive and say, that guy right there gave me something he shouldn't have gave me.
Right.
Not once. Think about that.
Yeah.
These fighters aren't giving themselves this stuff. They're
Yep.
going to places and saying, I haven't heard one fighter say, you know what? I had a rotten egg in my camp. He gave me something that he shouldn't have gave me. I'll take the positive test, but this is not on me. This guy gave me something. And you know why that's never happened? I'm gonna tell you why that's never happened. Now, one guy ever says that because if you point somebody out, you know what that person is gonna say? Oh, wait a minute, you knew what we were doing, and they're gonna start producing emails and texts and all kinds of stuff, and then everybody gonna start snitching on everybody in the whole. I don't even want to use the word snitching because this is not the streets, this is the business. So if somebody gives you something illegal that they wasn't supposed to
Talent.
give you, then they're responsible. So you're not snitching if you tell the truth in that aspect. But the reason why that's never happened is because whoever that they throw under the bus for this is going to say, "Oh yeah, you really didn't know it. You didn't know what you were taking. Okay, here you go." And they're gonna produce all kinds of receipts with text messages and phone calls and all that kind of stuff. So nobody ever tells wherever they got the stuff from to make them test positive. I've only seen this in one case. There was a guy, there was a strength and conditioning coach. I think his name was Daryl Hudson. He worked with Shane Moses. And Shane, there was something happening in court or whatever. And Daryl Hudson said he's lying. He knew what he was taking. He's a liar. And he went on the stand.
Well,
Somebody
well,
was getting sued or whatever, and he told everything. He said Shane Mosley knew exactly what he was doing. That's the only time I've ever heard that ever happen before. And I don't know neither one of them. But other than that, I
I
never
mean,
heard anybody say
Michelle
that.
Michelle Rivera left his team for the Frank Martin fight. He tested positive. He left his
Okay.
team and joined the Jermaine Ortiz team. I talked to him. He said that sometimes in boxing you can't trust the people around you.
Did he point out somebody that gave him something?
He said the word team. You're right.
Okay. Okay. Well,
He said the
props
word
to him.
team. So he just left the team, went to another team. You know,
Okay. Well, props to him. That's
he
still a
was
little
training
gray.
in Miami and he came down to
Yeah.
New England.
Yeah. Well,
So
props to him. But um, it's a very rare thing in boxing.
mhm.
And he got suspended, didn't he?
Yes, he did. And he
Mm.
just and now he recently got that fight with Libanese. That was the last time he fought, and then since that Frank Martin fight.
Okay. Okay.
Um, but now Ryan is blaming Scooter. Assuming as far as some of the things that the substances that Scooter gave him in camp. I guess
Who's Scooter?
the strength and conditioning coach
Oh,
that
I don't
was.
know.
Oh, you don't know Scooter from New York?
Oh, okay, 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 okay. So he's
So
blaming
he
him. Okay.
so he I guess Ryan's pointing the finger at him, and he actually was hired for the last 11 hours of Ryan's weight cut. Scooter Davis came onto the channel here and told us we have the content of him telling us what he gave Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia pointed the finger at him and said those are the supplements that he gave him.
I don't know. I don't know.
So I'm
See,
here just
see,
giving out
you know what I don't want
interviews.
to do?
I'm just doing
You know what?
interviews, and I know I'm trying to get to the so everyone could you know understand.
You know what I don't want to do? I don't want to do the mental gymnastics, man.
Right.
I'm keeping it real with you, bro. I don't want to do the mental gymnastics. I don't want to do the mental gymnastics of just going through all of this. It's like draining. You get people asking you questions about something, and I know this is it's a word it's a term called due process. So now we at the point where the B samples tested positive. I saw a couple of theories about him being set up. Vada, Victor Conti, all these people were in it. Now that's changing a little bit, right? Now there's the contaminated substances. I saw the ashwagandha company came out and said, wait a minute, we didn't put anything in it. And then now I'm saying this other company come out and say, wait a minute, we didn't do this. So now there's a thing of the supplements where they tested, where they sealed when they were tested, or with these others. It's a lot of mental gymnastics. You know what I'm saying? And then you have people on both sides that say, yeah, 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 yeah. Look, he did it. Or no, 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 he's clean. I don't feel like all that because I don't have nothing to do with it. You know what I mean? So I kind of just like, whatever. I already knew this was going to happen. If you got a good lawyer, you can do all of this kind of stuff. Let everything play out. I want to hear what let the companies that he's accusing of giving him tainted substances, let those companies come out and defend themselves. Let's find out who's testing these bottles that are already open. Let's see all of these things. It's so much with due process. And the more money you have, the more lawyers you have, the more you can, you know where I'm going with this. So I don't, it's a lot going on, man. Like I said, we'll see. The fight was in New York. The New York State Athletic Commission is usually strict on this kind of stuff. So let's see. Let's see them give a statement. Let's see what their findings are. Let's see if they hire an independent investigator. I don't want to comment too much because there's so much stuff that's behind the scenes. If you make an ass out of yourself with assuming one side is right and one side is wrong, you'll just jump on the wrong side. Now it's not worth it to me to be willing to do all of that. I'm on the side of clean boxing. I don't want anybody to cheat, and boxing is already a hard enough sport. That's it. I'm not on Ryan Garcia's side. I'm not on Devin Haney's side. I want clean boxing. That's it.
What do you think is gonna happen?
I think that Ryan Garcia is um, I think now the burden of proof is on him to prove whether the substances were tainted or he was set up. I can't tell you if he was or he wasn't because I really don't know. But I just think that if he was, he got to prove it. So now I'm waiting for him to prove his because science already did what it was going to do. The A samples were tested and the B samples were tested. So there's no doubt whether the stuff was in his system. So now we got to prove whether he was set up or he took the stuff inadvertently. And like he may have to retract some of his theories because if he took a substance that was contaminated, then he can't say Vada and Victor Conti and Devin Haney set him up because they didn't give him the substance. So I'm just waiting for the next step of whatever his theories are and whatever he thought happened. I'm just waiting to see if he could prove it because I've heard too many different things. I've heard ashwagandha. I've heard this other supplement that he was taking. I heard Victor Conti set him up. I heard Vada set him up. I heard Devin Haney set him up. So we gotta just see. And I'm not saying it didn't happen. I just want to see what they're proving and what they're not proving. And I don't want to jump to any conclusions.
Is this something that you want to know? Like, are you like when the news comes out and stuff like that? Like, you see how like I can see the anticipation.
Sure.
You want the clean boxing. You know what I mean? I'm hearing it from you. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you feel like how big this is? They're about to do a press conference. I heard that this ain't the first time they did a press conference for something like this. But like, is this something? Have you seen this be so big ever in your life?
No, because Canelo's really wasn't that big like that. They just
No.
suspended him and he did his little hair test and he fought Triple G a year later. This is kind of like, this is
Why is
big.
that? Why do you think that?
I think because Ryan Garcia has a polarizing personality, and I think that he's like crying wolf. Like they set me up. So even if you don't believe him, you still have to give them the benefit of the doubt. You still have to say, okay, well, if they set you up, let's see where the evidence takes us. Because just because we don't believe something right away, that doesn't mean that over time that somebody can't prove it. So if he's claiming that he's set up, I think that now he's getting a chance to prove it. You know what I mean? He's really getting a chance to, show whether he was really set up or not. So I'm just, of course, If I'm involved in boxing as a professional, I want to see what the outcome is. But we shall see. The fight was what, April 20th? We were in June now. Let's see what happens.
I remember having this conversation with you that you had a conversation with Victor Conte about his situation. You said that I'm a clean coach. Um, and you had a conversation with him. If things go left, I mean, are you the type of person that continues working with somebody like a Victor Conte if things do go that way, that left,
When you say left, if it's proven that Victor Conte set Ryan Garcia up,
stuff like that? Yeah.
oh no, I would never work with him again. If it's proven that he set him up. But listen, here's the thing. If Ryan Garcia took a supplement, right, that had Osterine on, because that's what his new defense theory is, then he's going to have to apologize for saying Victor Conte set him up.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm trying to say? That's why I'm not so fat. And I know Victor Conte has a pass. You know what I mean? And people say stuff like, who works with him? Let me tell you something, bro. A lot of snack fighters lose, and a lot of guys that are sponsored by snacks, they don't even go out there and train. I'm keeping it real with you. They don't go out there and train. Victor's getting old now. It's not guys. A lot of guys go out there and train like that. And that's just that. You might get the protein and the ZMA to go to sleep. He gives you a patch, sends you a couple of dollars, and that's it. It ain't like you out there sticking needles in you. That kind of stuff. That's just something that people say on TV. I got fighters that want a couple extra dollars because they're not making any money, bro. They'll get snacked. They can't. They don't even. They haven't even met Victor Conte. I wouldn't lie to you, bro. They haven't even met him. Let alone ever talk to him or been out there to the snack facility. It ain't like, but I let people say and do what they want and think what they want. It ain't that deep to me.
Yeah, yeah, because not now, like you said, your anticipation of wanting to know this, and like you said, you just if things go wrong, that you don't want to be a part of something that is that snakish, and I agree, and I'm
Oh
not
no, I
jumping.
wouldn't want to be part of nothing where a guy sets somebody up. But I'm just gonna tell you this: that's a very, very strong claim
Very strong.
that somebody got a hold of your sample, put PEDs in it, and you tested positive.
To
And the
move.
claim has to match up with the evidence because now they're saying that a company sold them some kind of supplement that had Osterine in it. That's not me. That's what they're saying. It's something that has nothing to do with Victor Conti. The spokesperson from that company has come out and said, wait a minute, no, sir, this didn't happen. So now they're going to have to go back and forth. So this is a lot going on, man. And I'm not emotionally invested in all of that, but I am invested as a professional in what the total outcome is going to be.
Mm. Do you think that Haney should do the rematch?
Um, that's a great
Olympic style,
question.
Olympic style testing,
That's a great question.
weight class, hydration, or whatever you guys, whatever they want to do.
Um, I don't have an answer for that because you know doing the rematch is just not that simple. You know, Devin, he took a bad beat. He was hurt and hurt several times. He probably was concussed and in the fog for half of the fight. So no matter what we try to say from the outside for our entertainment, he took a lot of punishment. So to want him to go back in there with a guy who possibly use PEDs, um, is tough to say. If he wants revenge, I'll be all for it. Like, go get that back. If I was his trainer, I probably would be for it. But being fair, looking from the outside coming in, it's a tough situation to be in, and that's up to him and his dad. A lot of times, man, guys don't want to give a guy a chance to make no more money, but the competitive spirit is in you is I want to get that back. I want to run it back. I want to run it back clean. We got to fight again. So let's see what the outcome is first before I say that, because Devin is going to have, once the world sees you lose, fighters are going to fight him different. Devin's going to have, I'm not going to say a tough time, but he's going to have to elevate his game to get past the visuals of what Ryan Garcia did to him. Every other fighter that fights him is going to be super, super confident in him, and now they're going to attack him with a lot of left hooks. They're going to chop right hands down on the side of his head. Ryan kept hitting me with a right hand. Like, they're going to look at the blueprint. All of the good coaches, everybody is going to be, you know, everybody and their mom at 140 is going to want to fight Devin. And God knows at 147. So, you know, Devin's in a tough spot, man. I don't like to feel bad for fighters, but I feel bad for Devin, because if Ryan did cheat, nobody's gonna care about that. They just gonna care about what they saw. And people are already saying, well, he should have better defense. He should do this. He should do that. And I just be like, hmm, tough spot to be in. So whatever them brothers wish to do, I wish them the best. I'm not the one to say he gotta fight him back, because he's not my fighter. If it was my fighter, your winning spirit want to get it back, but that's not my fighter, and I don't know if he want to get back. And I heard him say he probably don't want the rematch, so I can understand not wanting to give a guy, um, an extra chance to make some money, and on top of that, you probably don't trust them, because when a person cheats, allegedly, when a person gets caught cheating, right? The first thing I don't know what comes to your mind, but the first thing that comes to my mind, that's the first time you did it or the first time you got caught.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
So that
Of
comes to
course,
my mind.
of course.
So, and I'm saying that for a reason, because you know what, if you can do it and get away with it? Everybody don't have that kind of integrity. I don't know. Whatever decision Devin made, I wish him the best. But I will say that, boxing is a humbling sport, and the one thing that I know that they wish that they could do different is not allow that 3 pounds. You know what I mean? That came back to bite him. You know, um, if he was overweight, it's a lot of things you could have done to play with that. But the number one thing you could have done to play with that is say, okay, you can only rehydrate the 150, or you can only rehydrate the 153. You can't come in 143 at the weigh-in and then come in whatever you want to do at the ring and just pay me because you understand what I'm saying? I think that that was a humbling experience for Devin and his team, because they just took the money like, all right, we confident we gonna beat him, but you never know when the guy go up here and maybe you having a little bit of an off night, and y'all meet right in that place. You never know. You can't take nothing for granted in boxing. You can't. And I think that that was the one thing that they did that I'm assuming that they wish they could have back. Because you don't want to blow the money and blow the whole show, but at the same time, you want to give Devin his best competitive chance to win, and letting Ryan come in, even though Ryan paid him the fine or whatever. He still got to rehydrate as high as he wanted. So you can't have both. I'm not a big guy on rehydration clauses. I believe if you make the weight legally, you make the weight legally. You know what I mean? Like, as long as you didn't cheat to make the weight, because guys who rehydrate high, they also cut a whole bunch of weight. People forget that. They also got to cut 30, 40 pounds in camp. So it's not like that they didn't suffer during camp. So sometimes you get it all back in 36 hours, and sometimes you don't. But if you get to come in heavy and rehydrate to what you want, you got a major advantage.
Mm. Now, like obviously, Haney has the reputation of coming in very heavy in the fights. Do you feel like that's a lot? That's a big advantage point that he has. That once he makes that weight, he has that limited of time to rehydrate. So therefore, Ryan probably doesn't have that in his body and of nature. So he did come in 3 pounds and kind of made it a little bit more even.
I don't think it was even. I think that Ryan Garcia had the advantage by coming in heavy. Um, I don't. I don't have no
How much did
opinion
that
on.
does it matter how much they come in there then? Like,
Say that
or like,
again.
does it? It obviously matters how much they come in the ring. I don't know if that.
Yeah,
I don't think that that
it
information
does.
hasn't. Do you know
It
he was
does.
heavier?
It does. I don't know who was heavier. I don't know who was heavier, but like I hear people talking about how high Devin rehydrates, but as long as he's making the weight and he's not cheating, how high he rehydrate is how high he rehydrate. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't really have too big of a opinion on that if there's no rehydration clauses in there. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like as long as he's making the weight
you
without
sign up
cheating,
for it.
you sign up for that. You know what I'm saying? Like it is what it is. Like Devin Haney rehydrates 20 pounds.
Like
I'm like,
you and
so what?
like Caleb Plant and Benavides. I'm pretty sure you guys is like he probably gonna come in there like
What can we say?
can't.
We can't say anything. So I don't understand how people complaining or comparing that Devin Haney might rehydrate high. So what? If there's no rematch clause, he's not breaking any rules. He can rehydrate as much as he wants to rehydrate.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So I don't have a problem with anything. Devin Haney, in my opinion, is a clean fighter. He's never tested positive for anything. And just because a lot of guys rehydrate high, bro. That didn't start with Devin Haney. A lot of people put 20 pounds on after weigh-ins. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I really don't. Like, I don't. Some guys rehydrate high. Some guys rehydrate in the middle. And some guys rehydrate low. Like, Caleb is a guy who rehydrates kind of low. David Benavidez looks like a guy that rehydrates high. What are we going to do? Say, oh, he rehydrated too high? You never heard me make that excuse.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You never heard me make that excuse one time. We signed up for that. We didn't tell him how high he could rehydrate. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't get into that. I think that that's crying over spilled milk, and that's looking back on things, trying to come up with an excuse to say something bad. Devin Haney didn't test positive for anything, and as far as I know, he never broke any rules as far as his rehydration is concerned.
Right. Right. Um. But nevertheless, man, I really appreciate you for tapping in.